36,000 people is a lot of people, and it's a huge undertaking to make an event of that size work.
We know how to handle crowds here. With Mardi Gras, we know what it means to have crowds here and whatnot. But it was a little hard to get our arms around 36,000 teenagers in town.
I think the small town youth leader or pastor that comes from the upper Midwest has great concern because their lifestyle is nothing like going into New Orleans or Detroit.
For many of them, I believe it was their first time really after leaving home. And it might be a little bit scary to go to a big city like New Orleans, and it might be a little scary for the parents.
They need to know that there is a huge team of people that are looking at every aspect to make sure that wherever we're sending our kids, it is a controlled and safe environment where we can be the church.
ELCA knows what they're doing when it comes to coordination and safety. Their logistics professionals are among the best in the entire country. What they have done in collaboration with New Orleans hospitality industry and the hotels and the venues and the shuttle companies and the security and the police department.
We're not just blindly sending them out into the unknown. We have researched, we have scouted, we've made arrangements with the city and with the local entities to make sure that it's a quality and safe experience.
Adults would say to me, "Oh my gosh, here were just groups and groups and groups and groups of teenagers, and they were laughing and joyful and talking and so well behaved. So well behaved."
They would see the sea of orange t-shirts and want to know who these kids were and how well mannered they were.
Because of ELCA, housekeepers were kept busy. Musicians had people to perform for. Chefs had people to cook for. The shuttle drivers, the people who set up exhibits at the convention center. So first, ELCA helped our economy and all of the jobs that come with that. So that means 80,000 families who feed their families, send their kids to school, have livelihoods in New Orleans because of this industry. So that's the first way that ELCA really helped us. But the most important thing that ELCA has done for New Orleans is the community service. I don't think there's ever been a group that has come in such large numbers and so willing to help.
We were able to send 12,000 people a day out into the community for about 6 hours worth of service. That's a lot. That's a lot that got done. And of course here, we needed that.
It was much needed. At that time, the people were still traumatized. They had hope, but they need that reassurance.
The thousands of volunteers helped with rebuilding homes and restoring parks and really getting to know the citizens of New Orleans who suffered a lot after Katrina. And there was a lot of need in this community on so many levels, not just building houses, but everywhere.
As community members were driving around, they would see a group of kids over in the neutral ground area clearing debris. They would see painting being done at schools. They would see various groups in parks, rebuilding parks and getting parks cleaned up and whatnot. And I think that visual statement was part of what the community was able to see in terms of, this is a lot of people doing a lot of work all at one time.
Not just in the physical work that they did and the structures that they built and the homes that they rebuilt, but just their kindness and their compassion and their service and really wanting to get to know the people of New Orleans and their interest in helping us recover from this terrible tragedy was so genuine.
We were able to put together this incredible plan to save parents $350,000. that they didn't have to spend in that first week of school on the school supplies that they very much know that their children want and need to have, that could then be spent on other resources. Another project was working together with The Gathering and with Scholastic to create the Million Book Project. We have libraries that were built because The Gathering made arrangements for that. And we did a similar project to the school supplies where we put together healthy food kits that we could then use in our programming to help teach kids about what it means to take care of our bodies.
ELCA really came in and said, we want to do this because we love the city of New Orleans, we want to help the people of New Orleans, and we want to leave a lasting impact in a city that really, really needed the help at that time.
What kind of church is this that puts on this magnificent event for our young people? That is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but is an incredible seed that we're planting in young people about the possibilities of what church can do.
This is exactly where we need to be putting our energies and our resources as a church. to make these kind of experiences happen. Because this is when it's life-changing for these kids. Certainly when they're 30 and 40 and whatnot, yes. But this is where it gets sparked.
I don't know that members of VLCA will ever truly know how much we appreciate what they did in our community. And of course, we would welcome them back with open arms anytime they'd like to return to New Orleans.
I think the people of Detroit are getting ready to experience what we experienced here.